5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Its velocity is cut by 800 feet a second, working more directly against gravity than planned. Reaching over 23,000 miles an hour, it carries to nearly 80,000 miles, 30 times as far as ever before.
Ladies and gentlemen, Harri Santamala.
Thank you.
Harri, the stage is yours for the next 40 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Let's try to get, yes. So it's very exciting to be here today. I'm Harri. I'm CEO and co-founder of Sensible4. We are a startup, like many here, but we are from Finland. Today, I'm going to spend my time on speaking about inspiration, collaboration, and all the cool tech stuff. We have all seen the autonomous vehicles in the news, and it seems that the hype is ever continuing on these vehicles. But at the same time, actually, concrete things are happening, and we know that the world is not going to change overnight, and it shouldn't. But we also know that the future is not that far away as some might believe. To look at the future, we will have to roll back 30 years. Just like so many of the startups, we are coming from university, where this grand old dude founded one of the globally oldest outdoor mobile robotic research groups. Sorry, difficult sentence. This is my co-founder, Jussi. I was born in '82, so I would be playing with Transformers at this time. But Jussi started to make his first autonomous vehicle in 1985. As this story was about collaboration, this EU project was actually made together in partnership with quite a big amount of companies and research institutes from France. It is quite interesting to look back and realize that 5 years before Google existed as a company, there were already self-driving vehicles in the research level, of course, which could be driving fully on a digital map, just like any majority of autonomous vehicles we have today. Of course, you can see from the low-hanging trunk that there was no capacity for passengers, as the vehicle was full of supercomputers of that time. I don't know how this picture relates to self-driving vehicles, but this is our CTO. He's burning something, probably his study books after graduation, but he has been he's the brains of the Sensible4. And if we continue a bit more, 2007, the problem with Finland is that we have a terrible climate. I mean, we really have 8 seasons, and 7 of them are snowy. And one of them is less snowy, but and basically if you would want to do a self-driving vehicle in Finland, that's your typical road you need to be able to drive. This road is actually 10 kilometers from the center of the capital of Helsinki. So that's how it looks like. So for us, the piece of puzzle which we are solving is the bad weather. Imagine if in the morning on a rainy day your vehicle would not start. I mean, I had used vehicles, so just recently I experienced this, but nobody likes that. So you want your vehicles to work, especially on those rainy mornings or snowy days when you don't want to walk. And this is a huge problem for the industry. And this is the reason why we were founded. We realized that because of the extensive past and the know-how, we had some skills in the area, developed in various types of robots over the years. Enough of the past. There has to be reason of existence for startup, so let's look at that as a next step. Today, when I flew in this morning and were about to come from Charles de Gaulle to the center, I was a bit tight on a time, and I was checking on the Google Maps how long it would take me to get here by a taxi. Well, the answer is that it would have been 30 minutes more than public transportation. So it was a no-gamer for me to decide that I will just take a train. And this is sort of reflects the problems we have quite well. So congestion, pollution, these are huge problems, and our cities, they need smarter solutions for the smarter mobility. Future of the driving is going to be electric, shared, and autonomous. We are going to be self-driving everywhere, all the time. Why? Because we want to make more room for the living, also in our urban areas. So how to go from vision to practice? It's all about team. I'm lucky that we have a team of 26 people, so that should be enough to take over the world. We do self-driving software which we sell to automotive companies. And we wanted to build something which would be resembling our vision. So hence the Gotcha. Gotcha is a short bus. It's self-driving and it's made for connecting multimodal public transportation chain. So basically making your travel more effortless also in the non-optimal weather conditions. So 2017, we started to develop Gotcha. This is the grandfather of Gotcha. There's a bit of similarities, but this was really the first development platform we had, and that even that snow was a fake, as we had to buy a snow gun to handle that one season out of those 8 when we don't have natural conditions. Then we went to a bit bigger size. So that's a Renault Twizy. We made few of them. And in public-private people collaboration, we started to pilot them in a mixed traffic conditions and offering people free rides from the local train stations and metro rides. There was a metro on the left, so this is taken with one of those. Typical Finnish winter storm. Well, this was actually the worst. So that's in the center of Helsinki, almost next to the pilot. And what is interesting in this area, or in this video, will be coming in about 10 seconds. And that is the fact that the expectation in Finland is that even if you have 20 centimeters of snow coming overnight, you will still have a public transportation operational. So basically, self-driving vehicles should be able to be as safe as human, or drive in any condition where human can. Then Muji. Muji is a Japanese design brand, a little bit like IKEA, but completely different. And we found each other in 2017 and started to work together. We had two teams, one team in Finland, so that's us, and the second team in Japan of designers, and we had to work cross-continent all the time, and even more, we had to learn how the designers and engineers can discuss. It's not an easy task. During this collaboration, we actually also became friends. Why would Muji from Japan want to work with the Finnish startup? I would have to speculate, but I believe it's because we have the same vision of the mobility. Let's take a look. Or not.
A toy capsule, a universal shape that embodies joy and excitement, is moving around the city with people in it. From a design of the Gotcha shuttle bus was born. Gotcha, with a digital map and sensing technology, is a self-driving bus that functions under all weather conditions, such as heavy rain, fog, and snow. Muji, proposing a pleasant life in multiple countries and regions of the world, is participating in this project as a design partner. Individually owned cars have created freedom of movement, but also disparities in use. Gotcha aims for shared mobility, a new kind of public transportation that anyone can use equally and easily. In urban areas, transportation networks are already well developed, but there are still many regions in the world without sufficient means of transportation. In an aging society, problems such as shortages of drivers will increase. Gotcha demonstrates its powerful potential to be a safer and easier means of transportation, not just in urban areas, but also in suburbs and regions that have suffered population decline. A self-driving system that runs while accurately tracing a digital map, just like an invisible railway. Gotcha can not only drive on a fixed route, it can operate more efficiently by responding to users' requests and finding the optimal route. Gotcha can even take a route that includes narrow lanes, which are normally difficult for regular buses to pass through. When you want to go out, you can check where Gotcha is at the moment, wait for it to come near you, and then get on right there. The spacious interior with no driver's seat provides a comfortable ride with rounded bench-style seating. Natural conversation may arise between the people riding together. Even when you're on the go, you can spend your time more effectively since you don't have to worry about when your ride is coming. Gacha also seamlessly connects with existing transportation services. Using the app, you can select the best route and transportation methods according to the situation and transfer between different transportation services with ease. Gacha not only carries people, but can also offer various services. It will be especially useful in areas with little mobility and in suburbs, as well as regions that have suffered population decline, where there are few supermarkets and public facilities. Easy and flexible mobility will lead to the birth of encounters between people, bustling crowds, and new forms of local communities. Bringing a pleasant life to many people, a cute round bus travels around the city and countryside. Gacha aims to be a platform that brings peace and happiness.
I think somebody made a joke on that video. Maybe you didn't notice, but there was an urban city and flag of Finland, and a rural snowy area and a flag of Japan. I mean, we have in the whole country like 5.5 million people, which is less than Tokyo. But that being said, okay, why a software company would build a bus? Because we can, and because we had the right partnerships. And not just from Finland, but from Europe and Asia. I think I said I wanted to give you a practical presentation, so let's look a bit on the behind of how you can actually build a bus. Well, it's easy. You start bottom up, so make a floor first, and also continue up bottom, so make the brains for the vehicle. Sometimes it's good to sit down and plan, even visit some inspirational shops for benchmarking, and reinvent the wheel or get the wheel spinning. Then we seated some more to experience the gacha. After seating, we decided that it's time to work. After work, we decided that it's time for after work. And once more, we were seated. Small team has to have many tasks and many responsibilities, including more seating. So gacha is all about comfort of the ride. And to answer how we work together with Japanese team, we go in the bus and we sit inside until we know what to do. This is the most scary moment of building gacha, lifting the roof, which was a teamwork and coordination exercise. Enough seating, it's time to stand. This is taken one day before the premiere we had in March. But besides building the physical bus, we needed to add over 2 million lines of code. Thousands of components need to work together. And we had to spend tens of thousands of hours of time and countless amount of energy drink for making it happen. This is how the bus looked during first test, a few weeks before public premiere and test ride for several hundred people. This picture has absolutely no relation to gacha. We just thought it's there's a UCR co-founder, and it looked like there's a follow the leader situation, so it was sort of gave a good vibe, so we wanted to show it. Few days before we had that said event, we went to the center of the Helsinki in Finland for photo shoot and testing. This is taken somewhere 2-3 a.m. in the venue where we had the premiere event on a previous night. When our CTO, who is responsible of the technology, is acting as a human obstacle. That's how you need to trust your team. And it was also snowing. Okay, we survived. In 2019, on March 8th, I showed the same video. And what I also told back then is that besides testing on the previous night, the team was actually also testing during my presentation, which was the last one before showing the vehicle. We also had a big technical problem on that very morning and during my presentation. And when I went to the stage, I didn't yet know that can we have a test ride or not. Everybody was expecting that we can. And we did. Okay, so we have a bus. We have a self-driving software. But we need to still understand what to do with that. So we took our small Renault VCs for those said pilots for both winter and summer conditions to make maps and gather experience and feedback for the gacha by the users, and just to give them rides to if their destination was feeding to our routes available on that during those pilots. So what is gacha? It's a short bus. It's electric. It's not meant to substitute any existing vehicle. It's meant to complement public transportation network by providing something which we cannot provide today. Why the bad weather is so challenging? Well, those of you who have driven during the night, you know your visibility is not so good. If you have been driving during snowfall and night, you know that it's not certainly becoming easier. So the challenge is really to know where you are and to see what is in front of you. How the self-driving vehicle does that? Well, we start easy. We need GPS to roughly know, are we in France or Finland? We need a LiDAR, which is basically laser radar, to provide us image of all around the vehicle, all the time, with high definition information. It's not enough. We need cameras, and unlike in that video from '93, where the camera was turning like a head, we can just have multiple cameras to see everywhere all the time. Furthermore, we should throw a set of radars as they are very good information for detecting other traffic or people. once you have all those, then you have terabytes and terabytes of data, which looks cool in the videos, but you need a way to understand your data and to get where you are and what do you see questions answered. And that's the tricky part of it. So, what about the future? Bus is out, so what's now? We go piloting, no surprise there. So the same routes which we opened with the small vehicles will be complemented by service provided by Gotcha. This is an example of a small portion of such last mile service, which we think the self-driving vehicles can do to complement the metro station and provides seamless connection for the local community. This route is going to be, I was hoping to say it's going to be live yesterday. We have already taken a bunch of passengers, but we are going to start a sort of fixed operation within days for this route. Then we again go to other cities for other experiences and other climates. We, as a software company, are not going to make more gotchas ourselves. We are not that crazy. But we are going to make more gotchas in collaboration with hardware manufacturing partner. And why? We think that this picture resembles very well the future of the mobility. 4 seasons, mixed traffic between autonomous vehicles and conventional vehicles, connecting our existing public transportation and providing new kind of service and reducing the need for private car ownership, making it everything safer, more affordable, and more accessible to all equally. This was my story about the Gotcha. I hope it's a journey which is just beginning. And I hope that this journey has been also inspiration for some of you on how 2 very different teams with very, very different cultural background and very, very different areas of business can actually work together and create something which is very unique and has a potential to be a part of that puzzle which we all need to solve to improve our mobility and make our cities greener. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Harri. So your speech inspired, obviously, people that were listening in the room today, and I have some questions that have come up on our website. One of the first questions here, which is quite interesting, which kind of links into what you finished with. Smarter mobility, yes. Smarter city, yes. But do you also provide the financial solution to make it possible?
So you say, do we provide financial solution to make it possible? That way. That
was the question from somebody in the room, yes.
Yeah, I think we should discuss a bit about startup financing and what that actually means. So when a startup is founded, like we did, we had 0 savings, 0 investment. We were one of the few lucky ones which actually grown by revenue, but unfortunately we don't have the muscles yet to finance such services. But I'm all about collaboration. So I would say that this would be a topic where we would be partnering with financial services company if that's the case.
There's another question here. How could La Poste and Gacha collaborate in the future?
Well, you saw that in the Muji cartoon about the gacha, is that we are trying to think on the broader terms, and future of the mobility is not only moving people, it's moving everything. So I think there should be a way for collaborating in a very even practical level. That if we want to solve our mobility issues, we actually need to solve all of them, not just moving people, but moving goods or bringing goods or bringing services to the people.
How adaptable, this is one of my questions because I'm obviously interested as well, but how adaptable is this solution to cities across the world? Not everybody's at the same stage of mobility today. I mean, Finland, yes, I guess the population is less. Tokyo, for example.
Yeah, there's some people, or Beijing.
Beijing.
The traffic is quite something. I would say we need to look at the reasons why we would want to implement such solution. If you have a lot of people in some center of big city, that usually means that there's a lot of mobility needs, and which means you need to have a heavy public transportation network to serve those needs. And when you have that, they may not actually be a need for...
Hold it just a bit higher up. It's because you're holding it too low. Pull that.
Is it? I think it's, well, when you have all these metros and trains and big buses, we are not trying to compete with them. We are looking to provide last mile services in the area where we cannot provide optimal means of transportation to everybody. So I would say that the autonomous driving on a commercial level is not going to be first on the center of a megacity, as you would have to have so many gachas or so many taxis that it doesn't actually solve anything. Instead, you will be going to maybe smaller cities or sort of suburban areas or even rural areas where you can actually bring value for the people who want to use that service.
Okay. I think we have time for one more question that came from the room. What is your thought about Elon Musk, who is saying that artificial intelligence is just a threat to humanity?
Yeah, that's a good question. He's saying that, and at the same time he's promising all-capable robotaxi to come out next year. So it's a bit conflicting. I would have to say that I also think that someday this might be the case, that there's really a risk of that. But it's going to still be a very long way. And if we can, as humans, set the right ground rules on how the AI should be developed and controlled, I think we still have a chance to make it.
Okay. Well, please give Harri a big round of applause. Thank you very much for being with us this afternoon, and a safe trip back to Finland. Good night.